issues that affect our communities, revealing the untold stories and giving you a voice. No sensationalism, no bias, just raw, unadulterated truth. I am committed to delivering news without compromise. Hard facts as we know them, when we know them, and how they affect you. Every Monday through to Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. This will be your most authentic news experience starting now on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. Are you tired of all the noise and speculation in the news? On Hard Facts, we cut through the clutter and get straight to the truth.
If only Fubra has been aware of the boo-boo trap, he would have understood in democracy there are bases for everybody to do accordingly.
Join us as we bring you the stories that matter. We go beyond the headlines to uncover the real facts and the core of every story.
We are doing this, we are doing that. At the end of the day, nothing good will come out. What did they promise us? They will be in charge of security and life and whatever. But what are we getting in return?
With in-depth analysis and experts interviews, Hard Facts delivers the truth that others dare not to reveal. Tune into Hard Facts every weekday, 3 to 6 p.m. and arm yourself with the knowledge you need to navigate today's complex world. Hard Facts, where the truth always prevails.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Let's talk. Is the nation's #1 talk news and sports radio station. We're broadcasting live from our audiovisual studios right here in Itamiya Crescent, Victoria Island, Lagos. This is Hard Facts, and I'm Maryann Okon, and it's a lovely, lovely Monday, start of a new week. In fact, this is the last week in August. August ran in sneakers, I must tell you. This year seems very fast. It's not me, it is a very fast year. But you should wait. He needs to wait. I need to have babies first. Kidding. Anyway, welcome to the show. I'm Maryann Okon. We're live facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM. We're also live on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. We're looking at the big three stories of actually the big weekend, because a lot has happened over the weekend and we want to look at those stories. And a couple of the stories have got you talking on different platforms and even on the breakfast table and in your small groups, and that's what we're bringing to the table this afternoon. And a food for thought I would play on the show today. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo was talking about corrupt politicians and what we should prioritize as characteristics of people who we want as leaders. Julius Malema was here over the weekend, and they say several things are happening across the country ties to this conversation. It's all intertwined, whether it's leadership, whether it's followership, whether it's good governance, whether it's democracy, or even the system of voting. They're all intertwined. It does have to do with how we see, perceive, and act. Welcome to Hard Facts. This is how we always start the show. I want to thank you all for joining in.
Get ready for the most important news of the day. It's time for the Big Three Stories on Hard Facts. Tune in to our primetime show for the latest updates and in-depth analysis on the top stories making headlines. From breaking news to in-depth investigations, we bring you the facts you need to know. Join us as we delve into the biggest stories shaping our world today. Tune in to the Big Three every weekday, 3 to 4 p.m. and stay informed with the news that matters the most. Hard Facts, where the truth always comes first.
The big weekend.
All right, let's start with Zamfara State. And the Daily Trust newspaper here says Zamfara meeting backlash against PDP governors. Apparently, over the weekend, we saw the governors of the People's Democratic Party, after a meeting a controversial meeting was held in the southwest here, as to the zoning of the presidential ticket of the People's Democratic Party. It was catching fire, but then Seyi Makinde, obviously the governor of your state, joined his counterparts in Zamfara State as the PDP's governors forum. I beg your pardon. What's happening to my English today? Decided to have a strategic, what they called a strategic meeting, about the future of their party. Now, we hear that there has been a backlash, obviously. Residents, according to Daily Trust newspaper, and members of the ADC, or the leadership of the ADC in Zamfara State, had this to say. Residents of Zamfara State, as well as the African Democratic Congress and the All Progressive Congress, the APC, yesterday slammed the People's Democratic Party's PDP Governors Forum for holding a political meeting in the state amid rising killings of innocent people by bandits. Many local government areas in Zamfara State, as we all know, recently suffered repeated attacks by armed bandits, leaving many persons killed, others abducted, and villages deserted. The PDP Governors Forum meeting, which held in Gusau, was hosted by the Zamfara State Governor Dauda Lawal. In attendance were the chairman of the PDP Governors Forum, Bala Mohammed, who is the chairman of the forum. That's the Bauchi State Governor. Abu Kefas of Taraba State, Omar Fintiri of Adamawa, Seyi Makinde of Oyo, obviously, Duediri of Bayelsa, and Ademola Adeleke of Osun State. Now, they had earlier met in Asaba, Delta State capital, in January, and in Ibadan in April. So observers actually are believing that these are formal. Well, let's leave all of that. The PDP governors had, during their meeting, commended the initiatives by the state government to significantly curb insecurity within the state, but condemned what they described as continued monstrous killings in Katsina, Plateau, Niger State, and Benue State, and other parts of the country. They had also called on the federal government to be more responsive to the lives and properties of citizenry. But critics are alleging that the fact that they wore formal dressing and cheerful posturing gave the impression of indifference and detachment from the suffering of the ordinary people in Zamfara State. Now, just so you note, for every state that the that the PDP Governors Forum go to, they wear their outfits. And this is also detailed for the enlarged Governors Forum. If they're being hosted in the Southeast, they wear Southeast attire. If they go to Delta, they wear Delta attire. So this is not the first time. This is just part of the things that they do. I mean, you can go do that research yourself. But then the people are saying that, look, most of these governors chartered planes from Abuja and landed in Sokoto, and they were said to be received by the Deputy Governor of Zamfara State. Of course, with taxpayers' monies. They're saying that, look, this is a lot. And not taking into consideration the fact that people are being killed every day and kidnapped in Zamfara State. You guys are throwing a huge party and having a political meeting. I don't want to dwell on this story, but I thought to myself when I was looking at it, maybe they have a point. Maybe it's the location. Maybe if it was done in Bauchi, it would have been okay. Maybe it wouldn't have been that sensitive. Maybe if it was done in Adamawa, it wouldn't have been that sensitive. Is it the location, or is it the meeting in itself? Should the meeting not even hold because they're saying it's a political meeting? Why are you holding a political meeting when our people are dying? Well, if that's the case, then the APC should not be having those meetings that they had in Gombe. The meetings, the political meetings that they're having, they shouldn't have. The ADC shouldn't be having those meetings they're having in the southwest, in the southeast, in the north. If that's the problem, the fact that there's sensitive issues in Katsina, in Benue, in Plateau, maybe there should be a halt completely of political meetings. Or is it just that it shouldn't have held in Zamfara? So maybe the government of Zamfara shouldn't have opted to host that event. Maybe they should have taken it to Rivers or Akwa Ibom. But then Akwa Ibom is no longer a PDP state. So what is it? I'll move away from that story. Let's go to the Sultan of Sokoto. I heard Kofi's show this morning and everyone was talking about it. But then he's saying something that we've all been saying, obviously, that justice is increasingly becoming purchasable. It is now a purchasable commodity in Nigeria. According to him, the legal profession must remain committed to upholding the rule of law to ensure fairness and accountability. And I'm sure that if I stopped anybody randomly on the streets of Lagos today and said, what do you think about the Nigerian judiciary? I'd have an earful. I'm certain. But there are those who actually say, well, yeah, the Sultan is telling the truth. I mean, what else is new? But there are those who are saying, excuse me, sir, you're part of the elite. And their fingers being pointed at the elites for destroying what we call the justice system today. Maybe you're just waking up to the reality. But the average common Nigerian has been there, done that. So is this really news? But of course, in a bid to also try to let us understand how difficult things have become for the average person to get justice in this country, shall we shoot the messenger and not take the message? I don't know. Is the Sultan preaching to the choir? Or because, I don't know. Or is he trying to remind the judiciary that they're losing face when it comes to the justice system in the country? Let's move away from that. Two more stories and then the phone lines are open. By the way, we're live, facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM. We're also live on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. We would like to hear your thoughts on X, where Nigeria Info used the hashtag hard facts. Let's talk about the situation of people who are sick in this country, because the sick and the weary you would always have in every country across the world. There's a story from the Punch newspaper, Sick and Stranded. Presidential orders failed to curb drug prices. Now, if you've been following, despite Mr. President's executive order in June of 2024 aimed at reducing drug costs and abolishing drugs, by this we mean medicine, by abolishing tariffs, excise duties and value-added tax on pharmaceutical machinery and raw materials, Nigeria continues to battle with soaring medication prices. The intended policy was designed to ease the financial burden on patients, but it has remained largely unenforced, leading to no relief for consumers or manufacturers. The Coordinating Minister for Health and Social Welfare, Mohammed Pate, on June 28, 2024, announced on X that President Bola Tinubu signed an executive order aimed to increase local production of healthcare products. Pate noted that the order introduces zero tariffs, excise duties, etc., etc., etc. The bigger question is, what is the fate of the average person who needs medication, who's relying on medication to survive, who needs to be able to afford his medication for him to be able to deal with whatever ailment, whether it be temporary or it's an ailment that they have to live with for the rest of their lives? I remember one of my callers who called to say the eye drop that she was using, that used to be a certain price, is so expensive now that she'd rather buy food and eat. What is the efficacy of a presidential order in a Tinubu administration, in today's Nigeria generally? Does it carry any... And can we fault the presidency for just putting out a presidential order without enforcement? Or are there other teething problems that's causing this to be where it is right now? And finally, Julius Malema, one of my favorites, has spoken about the slavery or the enslavement that aid has put us into. And this is a conversation I plan to have, hopefully next week, and the politics that surrounds it. He's the president of the Economic Freedom Fighters, a major opposition political party in South Africa, and he spoke on Sunday evening during his remarks at the Nigerian Bar Association's annual general conference in Enugu. He said that Africa must collaborate to industrialize and grow the continent's economy rather than depending on foreign loans. I'll leave it at that. Let's talk. But is it possible for the average Nigerian or African leader to let go of juicy foreign aid and borrowings that are unending? Borrowing to pay salaries, borrowing to fund the budget, borrowing to do stuff that does not have plowed back profits. How easy will it be for these guys to let go of foreign aids and foreign loans? Let's talk. 0201277093, 0201465790. If you are a lady, on WhatsApp, on Facebook, you can post your comments. On WhatsApp, if you are listening from outside of the country, you want to join the conversation, call us on 0809597585. Only if you're calling from the diaspora, then you can call on WhatsApp. It's 0809597585. Or better still, if you are here in Nigeria and you just want to chime in, send us a WhatsApp message. We would love to hear from you. 60 seconds is all you have. Welcome to Hard Facts.
Hello, Maryann. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I'm Madam Lucky. I'm calling from Begileki.
How do you do?
Yes, fine. See, first of all, I want to comment on this issue of this drug issue that you talk about. You see, I think you can see that in your intro, you said the governors, they went to Zamfara State with private jets. Was that not what you said?
Yep.
Under Buhari, it's not possible. They were all borrowing money to even pay. They were collecting money from government. They were borrowing money for the federal government to pay salaries. They were crying. But now, too much money available. That's why you see it. I'm happy that the president today, he can remove the glass and see that the money he's making. He removed money from Nigerian hand and removed money from OSCs, and he's giving it to governors to spend and waste all over. Nigerians are suffering. So that is there. So the thing is that, see, when you decide that you want to reform economy in Nigeria, if Tinubu was to be doing that as a military man, he will have succeeded. Because why? He decide how the money is spent, and he can ask you questions. But this one, you cannot ask governor how they use the money, and that is sorry state. Then about the drug you talk about, the man brought a policy, like as you said, but you see that it was not implemented. Because why? They know that if they do it, that money will not go to federation account. But I want him to know that whether it be or not, so Nigeria will survive to 2027. After then, we shall know.
Thank you very much for calling. I do appreciate it. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
This Mr. Benga.
Go ahead. Yes.
In our justice place, we are a talking nation, not a dream nation. When a friend of mine told me, a lawyer, he said, I should not fear the law, I should fear the judge. That's what is happening in Nigeria. The judiciary know that what they are doing in Nigeria, you can buy justice in court. Even though you can buy love. The only thing you cannot buy in this life is truth. Truth will always prevail every day. It's prevailing every day. Whether you tell lies, truth will almost come up. That is it. We don't love ourselves in this country. There are kings, that's political statement, all those parties that are talking. If they were there too, they will not do anything. All of them know those people that are financing these people, that are sponsoring these people. They don't bring their heart for us. They are talking every day. They are killing. They antagonize each other. Is that how to rule a country? All of us that keep on talking since 1963, nothing was done. Since 2010, Boko Haram has been there. We have eliminated them by Buhari. Have they eliminated them?
All right.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much for calling. 0201277093. That's the number for you to call. Welcome to Hard Facts. Hello.
Hello, afternoon, Joyce.
My name is Maryann Okon.
Maryann, okay, Maryann, afternoon. This is Dara from Lagos. Now, well, I knew that.
I'm so sorry. Just hold on. Let's go on a quick break. We'll be right back.
persist after 3 days, consult doctor.
Consistent taste for cooking mouth-watering soups, stews, and jollof. Choose wisely. Choose Gold. Terra Gold Seasoning Cube.
1 cube. Endless possibilities. Terra Gold.
Ibuka capsule full ground. Anytime pain they around. If pain won't show in power, 3 in 1 day. To knock and power. Ibuka pain for body, pain from fever. Any kind pain they bow for Ibuka. That's why I carry up always. Ibuka hammer pain away. Ibuka they buy me always. Ibuka they for you always. Ibuka they buy me always.
Ibuka will stand gidigba with you always as you pursue your dreams to make life better, and it go better after 3 days if body no tranga. Go see doctor. National Healthcare Limited with them market am. Ibuka always with you.
Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria tanda gidigba with Ibuka.
Good tasty food is worth living for. Worried about your oil every time you enjoy your favorite meal? Introducing Golden Terra Smart Balance Oil. Smart Balance Rice Bran Oil is rich in gamma oryzanol. Several studies suggest that gamma oryzanol may contribute to the reduction of bad cholesterol. Golden Terra Smart Balance Oil. Good food, no worries.
No buy am. But why? No see say this big bull bag of rice no get the new big bull holographic seal. Not true.
Introducing the Big Bull Holographic Seal Tape, your favorite authentic Big Bull rice, 50 kg and 25 kg. Now with holographic seal tape. This is to ensure you get the premium product from Big Bull rice. Do not buy if the holographic seal tape is not on the bag or is broken. Big Bull rice. Tasty rice nourished you.
Ibuka capsule full ground. Anytime pain they around. If pain won't show in power, 3 in 1 day. To knock and power. Ibuka pain for body, pain from fever. Any kind pain they bow for Ibuka. That's why I carry up always. Ibuka hammer pain away. Ibuka they buy me always. Ibuka they for you always. Ibuka they buy me always.
Ibuka will stand gidigba with you always as you pursue your dreams to make life better, and it go better after 3 days if body no tranga. Go see doctor. National Healthcare Limited with them market am. Ibuka always with you.
Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria tanda gidigba with Ibuka.
Lagos is listening at the Say What You Need, Say What You Want Done forum. Residents spoke and government responded.
Now it's your turn. Be a community champion. Share ideas, solve problems, and work with government to make things better. Sign up today. Be a community champion. Lagos is listening. To join, visit citizensgate.lagossstate.gov.ng. Office of Political, Legislative, and Civic Engagement. Your ideas, your Lagos, your voice.
That special secret that awakens taste buds. Mouth-watering wonder with awesome aroma. Terra Seasoning Cubes.
Terra Seasoning Cube turns your meals into a masterpiece.
Unwrap joy, unleash taste. Hey, come cook with Terra Cubes. Come cook with Terra.
Ibuka capsule full ground. Anytime pain they around. If pain won't show in power, 3 in 1 day. To knock and power. Ibuka pain for body, pain from fever. Any kind pain they bow for Ibuka. That's why I carry up always. Ibuka hammer pain away. Ibuka they buy me always. Ibuka they for you always. Ibuka they buy me always.
Ibuka will stand gidigba with you always as you pursue your dreams to make life better, and it go better after 3 days if body no tranga. Go see doctor. National Healthcare Limited with them market am. Ibuka always with you.
Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria tanda gidigba with Ibuka.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
This is Hard Facts on Nigeria Info 99.3 FM. My name is Shegwa Rinze. This is Hard Facts.
Yes, it is, and we are broadcasting live from our audiovisual studios right here in Itimian Crescent, Victoria Island, Lagos, Nigeria. But you can watch and listen to us live from anywhere in the world. All you need to do is download the Nigeria Info FM mobile application, and that way you can take us everywhere you go. We're also live on YouTube and on Facebook, facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM. We would love to hear you. Post your thoughts and your comments on our live stream. I did tell you that I was going to quickly give you some a clip I listened to by former President Olusegun Obasanjo on what he thinks about corruption in the country. Don't forget, when this issue of private jets and governors being, not just governors, politicians in general being just living la vida loca, according to Sheriff Jai, just having a good time at the expense of the average Nigerian who's unable to afford food or medication. I remember when we talked, I think it was the burial of the former president, Buhari. And it was like a competition of who's got a private jet and who doesn't. I mean, it was just like a party of sorts. And they did it with no care in the world. But I also, I'm looking at what they're talking about. So the sensitivity of the meeting in Zamfara State. And I'm saying, well, the ADC had one here in Lagos. They've had several, even the APC, if we're saying that political meetings cannot be had because they're killings across the country, then no party should have any meeting whatsoever. I'm thinking. But if they do, if we're also saying, look at the private jets, how all of them charter private jet. Did you see the private jets in Katsina at the airport? Did you see it? Anyway, I'd like for us to talk, guys. I'll take a few more thoughts and then I'll bring you former President Olusegun Obasanjo's thoughts on who should be our leaders and why we're all complicit. The phone lines are still open. Welcome to Hard Facts.
Hello. Good afternoon. This is Joy.
Good afternoon, Joy. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. That's what I would never like this APC government. I don't care what anybody will want to say. I don't care. I will not lie when I know things are not going well. I'm not wearing the shoes. I know where it pinches me. I'm talking with respect to drugs, right? Medicine, right?
Yes.
They came with that policy that time. That's why they come with so much. See, when you lie too much, sometimes you don't even know that you have been lying. They haven't been able to implement. Pharmaceutical products are expensive. My dad, I know how much he spends, right, treating him on prostate. Their medicine and all that. I know how much he spends. Now maybe you are going to get any medicine. It's okay. You are getting it at a subsidized rate because of government has, paid it. Even when I went to Loose to buy medicine, that medicine is more expensive in their pharmacy. That is the federal government, so more expensive. I had to call a friend that also imports medicine. That one was even cheaper. You see that? So that is why you see lots of fake drugs here and there because the government is not doing anything. Now they are giving money to governors. The way you talk, they say they are doing their funds. Money they have excess income. They are giving money to the governors.
But are they not giving money to the governors? Who's checking the governors, by the way? As much as we're checking the federal government, who's checking the governors? Who's checking the legislators? Who?
Should I be the one checking them? The president knows what he's doing. You know what he's doing.
No, but you should be the one checking them, as you check the president too. We should check everybody. It is our duty to raise alarms.
You know the kind of people you have. Why do you give them money? That's what I'm asking.
Should he not give them money?
You have not even set all the things in place to say, this will checkmate these people. Why they give a thief? You don't even give a thief. Why would you give a thief money?
Okay.
This money will be with you and you distribute.
All right.
Because they will say net funds. They will say they are giving.
Thank you, Joy, for calling. Thank you for calling. I have to take other calls. It's not because you're not making sense. You're making real sense, actually. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
Okay, my name is Kingsley Jones. I'm speaking from Yaba.
Kingsley, why does it sound like you're calling me from inside a bottle? I can barely hear you.
Okay, are you hearing me now?
Perfect. Go ahead now.
Okay, I want to comment on the drugs situation. It is very unfortunate that the government approved reduction in duties, VAT, customs, and whatever imported into the country, and for that, and for drugs, produced within the country. And yet, a year after that approval was granted, up till now, we still find prices of drugs, medicaments, and others still very high at our pharmacies throughout the country. It is a shame that we have a government that is not interested in the welfare and well-being of its citizens.
So you don't think that there is a level of interest for the presidential for the presidency to actually have given that executive order? You don't think that that's a level of care?
Okay, they've given an executive order, but have they followed up to make sure that all the executive order is being implemented at whatever level? That is the issue. You just don't give an executive order. You must ensure that that executive order is being followed and carried out and implemented, not just to issue the executive order. What is the essence of issuing an executive order, and yet a year after, nothing seems to have been done? So the executive order is inconsequential.
All right.
It is of no effect.
Thank
you.
It
is a shame on the government. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for calling. 0201 277 0993 0201 465 7190. We're talking obviously of the stories from the big weekend, starting from Zamfara, where there's been a backlash against the PDP Governors Forum. They're claiming that, look, people have been dying. How come you're having such a sensitive political event? You're supposed to, you even flew private jets and landed in Katsina or Sokoto, and then you came from there. Some of them said you were too gaily dressed. You look too happy. Maybe if they frowned the whole time, it probably would have made it easy. I'm thinking, or maybe it's just me, I think too much. Or is it the location? They probably, if they took it to maybe say Bochi or Bielsa, it probably wouldn't have been an issue, but I think they have been in Bielsa, I know your state. But then is it not hypocritical to say that the PDP should not have a meeting when other political parties are simultaneously also having meetings that are very, very political, some even very, are like campaigns in nature? Is it not hypocritical for the ADC and the APC in Zamfara State to say that? Also, the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Saad Abubakar, speaking about the fact that our legal system is now up to the highest bidder, and we're saying, sorry, sir, are you just waking up to the realities that Nigerians have been experiencing? But also, fingers can be pointed in your direction, because we're hearing that the people who have been aiding and abating the corruption in the justice sector are elites like yourself, sir. Obviously, too many things to unpack there. And then, of course, the soaring drug or medication prices that have continuously persisted even after Mr. President had given a presidential order in that regard. And I'm asking, what is the efficacy of a presidential order under this administration? And finally, Julius Malema saying our salvation is in our hands. We must stop being dependent on these Western powers because they are continuously enslaving us. But what are your thoughts, Lagos? I'd like to hear your thoughts. Go ahead. 60 seconds is all you have. Welcome to Hard Facts.
Yeah, Action Lady, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, this is Chris calling from Ikoyi. Quick one, those who are complaining about PDP holding missing in Zamfara. PDP, are they the government in power? Are they the party in government? Rather than calling out the party in government.
The PDP is the party in government in Zamfara State. Are you joking? Yes. The governor of Zamfara State is from the PDP.
The PDP is not in government nationally. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, God, is the ADC and PDP? Hold on, Chris.
If there's insecurity, how come they hold the meeting there?
Hold on, Chris. If you must respond to certain headlines, think first. The PDP, the APC and the ADC in the state are the ones that are speaking. So they're speaking because it happened in their state, and their state government is that of the PDP.
So you want to tell me the Zamfara state is not peaceful, right? The one that happened in Katsina the other day, where's Kashin Shetima? APC has been holding meeting here and there. Hello?
I'm listening.
APC have been holding meeting here and there. The same PDP they say is dead and buried. Why are they concerned about PDP? We want a viable whatever opposition. Now you are complaining. The other day they went to Benue and do whatever Sarah they did. Did they go to where they kill people in Benue over 200? People will not talk. Just because it's PDP. For the Sokoto monarch, good thing all of them are speaking out now, Obasanjo. I've been calling on them. Why are you people keeping quiet? We all are in for it, but good thing they are not speaking out. Is today you want to tell us about the judiciary? Thank you, Action Lady.
Thank you very much for calling, guys. Please, when we read out these headlines and I go through the trouble of giving you the details, it's so that when you are commenting, you will be commenting from an informed perspective. Understand me? Please. Let's go to Baba Obasanjo. Don't forget, you can post your comments on our live stream on Facebook and on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. I'll be reading your comments in a bit. Let's go to former President Olusegun Obasanjo. I want to play this clip from X. Take a listen. All right. I want to play it from the beginning so that you can hear it. Here we go.
What is the character of the people that are in government? With all due respect, most of them should be behind the bar. And that is the truth. Most of them should be behind the bar. Some should even be in the gallows. Now, if these are the people that are ruling us, then what do you expect? It doesn't matter whether you make, whatever you make it will not. So the point is that the character of the people that are coming to government, their attributes, the sort of people, who are they? Look, in my own part of the world, even when you want to give a daughter for marriage, you say, hey, look at the background. What is the pedigree? And that is one thing we really need to think about. How do we select leaders? What should be the character of the leaders we select? What should be their track record? What should be, where should we find them? Are they role models? Look at, in your own case, with all due respect, you are not supposed to fix your salary or your allowances. It's supposed to be done by the revenue mobilization and what?
Fiscal commission. Revenue mobilization and fiscal commission.
Okay. But you decide what you pay yourself, the allowances that you give yourself, newspaper allowances, pound allowances, sheeting allowances. You give yourself all sorts of things, with all due respect. And you know it's not right. It is not right. It is not right for me to be the one to determine what I pay myself. It's immoral. And then you are doing it. The Senate is doing it. And you beat your chest. And in some cases, even the executive give you what you are not entitled to. You all got 200 million naira. When we were talking about the suffering of the people who put you there, on top of the obscene salary and allowances you give yourself, you got 200 million naira. It's not right. It's not fair.
And he goes on and on. Unfortunately, I can't take everything, but I just wanted to put that out there while we're talking. 0201 277 0993 0201 465 7190. Only for the ladies. I want to read. If you're listening to us from outside of the country, please do well to call me on WhatsApp. It's 08095975 Yes, the diaspora callers are allowed to join the conversation. This one says Malema should go and sit down, Jerry. Single currency, yes. Single passport, yes. Every other point, no. It's a good vision. Many leaders have dreamt of this, but it'll be much easier for a camel to pass through the needle's eye than to see this actualized. The bottlenecks are too enormous. Probably in the next century, calling for visa-free movement across the continent. Yet, his South African brothers and sisters are chasing their fellow Africans away from South Africa. Olusoga, as much as that is somewhat true, I must give it to Julius. He's one of those who has completely and seriously stood up against that whole thing that happens in South Africa. He's spoken about it several times. So, like I said, we're very quick to dismiss everything and even throw the baby out with the bathwater. But the day that I'm going to have this conversation, by the way, I just want to put this out there. The last person who tried to talk about a single currency in Africa, where's he today? Just saying. Don't say his name. Greenish here says, ADC's Bolaji Abdullahi is a clout chaser. He comments on every move as a coalition, as the coalition is not the gathering of failed politicians, as Dele Farotimi described them. He should mute. I beg. ADC holds meeting every week. I'm sure that's what you wanted to type. Every move of the coalition is politically motivated. Okay. Someone here says the executive order abolished VAT on drugs but has no impact on the cost of clearing the raw materials at the port. The cost of electricity keeps soaring. How can the cost of drugs come down? Emeka in Alakoko sent us that message. Thank you, Emeka. Majid here says, on the matter of drugs, the president's directive is not yet implemented because drugs are expensive currently. Okay. Interesting. This one says, I strongly agree with Julius Malema's opinion, but it's hard and difficult for African leaders to go off foreign aids and loans since it is to their advantage. Safianu from Kano, thank you. Ayo here says, the Sultan just knowing that justice is for the highest bidder. A country people don't contest and are declared winner. Julius should know the north of Africa will join one Africa. Julius should know that North Africa will not join one Africa United. I think this should be a case of maybe when we get to that bridge, if we decide to get to it, if we will get to it. There's a lot to unpack in what Julius Malema said. I remember I brought a pilot into the studio some time ago, maybe 2 years ago or 3. And he talked about the reason why it's cheaper to fly to Europe or America than to fly to Africa. I want to go to Tanzania because I've been to the whole of East Africa except Tanzania. It's not going to cost me anything less than about 1.5 million, the cheapest for the flight. 1.5, the cheapest. And I could fly business on a very good day on Rwanda Air to London. But that's what it takes for me to go to Kenya. Just here. Or Rwanda. Or Ethiopia. And that pilot friend of mine that was on the show talked about the fact that there's supposed to be a consistency, an agreement of sorts between African countries about the airspace. There's something he said about it. And I said to myself, if we're trying to build Africa for Africa and get more people to appreciate the tourism in Africa, especially Africans, why is it so difficult for African leaders to come to an agreement? Look, I can walk into Kenya whenever I like because they don't need me to get a visa to come to Kenya anymore. And most of these countries are doing these things with their neighbors. I think it was one of these other countries and their neighboring countries. It's visa free now. If we begin to look in that direction, the AFTCA, if I'm not wrong, would work in many ways, but we're not considering that. There are just too many bottlenecks. So the decision lies with us, the people and the government. When we're ready, that clamp that's around our neck, in quote, by Western powers will fall off. But are we ready? Someone here says, great job you're doing, but I'm shocked. The recent directive by Yaya Bello on the state. That I'm not talking about that, sir. Uche, I'm not talking about that. Yeah. So please do not derail me. This one here says, OBJ is not perfect, but is deeply concerned about Nigeria's development. So the Zamfara is not part of Nigeria or the PDP to hold their meeting. APC and PDP have no point. Malema has spoken the truth about African leaders. The more we keep up, or we keep going to them for help, the more they keep us enslaved. James Inikoridu. I'm coming back to the phone lines. You can call me on WhatsApp. If you're listening from outside of the country, I can take your calls. Someone here says, thank you, OBJ, for speaking up. You didn't put your name. This Momo Adamo says, Malema is on point. Another person here, Michael from Ibafo, says, Western world has successfully destroyed our mentality against unity. Reasons when anytime any topic comes up, we're focusing on why it can never work. God bless you, Michael. We're not even looking at the possibilities. We're just saying, I beg, it won't work. Look at what this person is doing. We're so divided that we cannot even see the possibility of us just thinking as one and freeing ourselves from mental slavery. And the fact that it's not just the hands of your politicians that are in the cookie jar, but the West has its hands also in there, deep in, especially on when you are the ones who own the gold, but you have to go to the UAE to get gold. Shocking. Join the conversation. Welcome to Hard Facts.
Hello.
Good afternoon. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling back. Now, I want to make a point. Now,
you're calling back. What's your name?
It's from Lagos.
All right.
Now, when I knew that this judiciary was going to be corrupt, when I saw that Ariwola went to visit Tinubu in his foreign trip before the election, I knew that something was cooking up. So that gave me an impression that this election was going to be compromised in 2023 election. So it came about. Now, with the testimony of El Rufai and Antonio Kocha in Rivers State saying that Obi won the election and they could prove it, even Babachi Lawa testified to it too. So it was glaring that Yakubu rigged the election, turned Obi from number one to number 3, and they now told you to go to court, and even Ariwola and his gang now buried the whole thing. So it was clear that everything was compromised. Using and their benefits. No, look, wait, just give me a second.
No, now, you have 5 seconds, so go.
Okay, 5 seconds. Now, Wike gave them 300% increase in salary and what do you call it, housing in Abuja. So it was glaring that it has been compromised.
All right, thank you very much for calling. I have to let you go because I'm out of time. I want to quickly read messages on our live stream. Asha Michele here says, nice one from the Sultan, but we will appreciate him if he stops his people from breaking the law in front of him by bringing children and kids to vote. He's capable. Emelkike here says, on the governor's matter, the president cannot question them because he needs them and their states for 2027. The exchange for his monies is vote for APC QED. Okay. I want to quickly read on Facebook here. Shola Adesana says, the hardship in town is really getting to Baba Obasanjo. He keeps hammering on the statement, leaders with bad character. How do we describe a former leader who personalized national projects, Operation Feed the Nation? From this project, your message is very long, but he's saying, starting our democracy with someone of that mindset has created a favorable space for these crop of corrupt leaders that we have today. I've got to go. I beg to differ comes up at the top of the hour after the news.
20 essential vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. One Supermalt multivitamin after breakfast every day keeps you going.
How do we make our cooking come alive, oh? For that tasty meal where you like, oh. I mean, you want cook food to impress, oh.
Whether it's jollof or na stew, even for porridge or spaghetti, cook to impress with Pepper Terra.
Every day is about winning with one play on Nigeria Info. On Nigeria Info, daily winnings is now on 150,000 naira. Just go to oneplay.ng or dial *347 *880 #3#. Play with as little as 500 naira, and in a few seconds, your ticket is in the draw. The more you play, the better your chances of winning every day on the Morning Crossfire, WhatsApp Lagos, and Game On shows on weekdays, and the Football Frenzy shows on weekends. But that's not all. Every Friday, there will be a 500,000 naira jackpot. Playing during the week automatically qualifies you for the weekly jackpot. Your chances of winning are the same whether you play on oneplay.ng or dial *347 *880 *3#. Remember to play responsibly. Not suitable for persons under the age of 18. OnePlay is a registered trademark under Lasho Trading Services Limited, licensed by the Lagos State Lotteries and Gaming Commission.
Ibuka capsule full ground, anytime pain they around. If pain won't show in power, 3 in 1 day. To knock and power. Ibuka pain for body, pain from fever, any kind pain they bow for Ibuka. That's why I carry up always. Ibuka hammer pain on the beat. Always, I mean always.
You always as you your dreams make life and go better after 3 days body no trans. Go see doctor. Nashalina Healthcare Limited them market Ibu Cap, always with you.
Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria Tandagdiba with Ibu Cap.
Mom's love is pure. It's so no she does. Mom's special jollof. It's a smile on your face. Mom's yummy fries. Cheers you up. Mom's tasty stew. Nourishes the family. Golden Terra oil. Tasty. Golden Terra oil. Nourishing. Golden Terra oil. Golden Terra soya oil.
Golden Terra Oil helps mom pour her love in the tasty, nourishing meals she cooks for her family. Golden Terra Oil, pour pure love.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We are back.
We're back on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it